Hey everyone, welcome back. Keeping my promise from the last video, this video will be covering a pretty good style, the counter style. Counter was recently buffed and got some extra base damage and a new attack, which allows it to now alternate sides for lights, which is super helpful for dealing with dash spammers. I think this style, beside long guard of course, got one of the best changes during the last major updates. But with that out the way, counter is another counterpuncher, meaning it does high damage on counter hits. This style has the second best counter damage, only second to bullet, but the difference is it has better overall stats than bullet and has counter damage bonus to both lights and heavies. I still think bullet is better, but a case can be made for counter. Now, let's see its basics. Counter's lights are decently strong now and are a bit slow, which does make them easier to see coming. However, now that they alternate sides, it can be harder to tell which way to dodge, which has been helpful. Anyway, it's not counter's base stats that make it amazing, it's the counter damage that does. Counters with light attacks deal excellent damage, and can instantly shut down the opponent's offense. Even landing one can force them to block or run away from you. Timing is super important with this style, so be sure to note what your opponent does during the match. Say they dash in before they attack. In order to counter this, look for any tells that may show they're going to dash in, like moving forward. Once you figure out the timing, this style is excellent at shutting down offense. Just don't get caught in a slugfest, as you don't have the speed to keep up. The base stats on counter's heavies are nothing special. The heavy is your only real damage source since the lights do less than normal, so it is important to land these consistently. This is easier said than done, however, as counter's heavies always come from the right side, and always have the same timing, meaning if they know what they are looking for you'll never land a heavy again. But, this can be counteracted by using the heavy for a counter. If you manage to counter hit with your heavy attack, you can shred an opponent down to nothing within seconds. This is due to counter's insane counter damage, which is only second to bullet's counter damage. Not only is this more consistent than bullet, but in my opinion, it's also less predictable. Since only bullet's heavies deal counter damage, that's all opponents look for, but with counter, it's every punch that hurts. The ultimate is pretty stunning. I've got to say, counter style is very satisfying and fun to use. I think its only bad traits are the reduced damage and its predictability, but in my ranked match I try to counteract this. Since so many counter players play defensively, waiting for counter hits and whatnot, I decided to flip the norms. I play counter in a very offensive manner, so here's some tips for you to help you play like me. This first is to use your dashes. By using the dart and dash method, you can dash in, get a heavy counter, and back out. They almost never expect this, so it can be effective. Another tip is to be sure to never let up pressure. If you give them too much leg room while you use this style, expect to be punished for it. Anyway, here's ranked.